It is January 2026 and the floodgates have officially opened. For years, we have heard promises of console-quality mobile games, but 2026 is the year developers are finally delivering. We are not just getting gacha games anymore. We are getting massive, living, breathing open worlds that just happen to fit in your pocket. Today I am counting down the top 10 new anime open world games you need to play in 2026. So grab a snack, this is your host Jasper and make sure you are already subscribed and let's get into the countdown. Starting off at number 10 is Crystal of Atlan. Now, if you are a fan of steampunk or rather mazipunk, this game is going to grab your attention immediately. The world is built on these massive floating islands and the aesthetic is just gorgeous. It's got that mix of ancient magic and heavy industrial machinery that looks fantastic on a high-res screen. The real highlight here is the combat fluidity. A lot of mobile RPGs lock you to the ground, but Crystal of Atlan wants you in the air. The aerial combos are incredibly satisfying. Like you can launch enemies up, chase them and slam them back down. It feels more like a spectacle fighter like Devil May Cry than a standard RPG. It's polished, it's fast and it's a great entry point for the year. Moving to number 9, we have Duet Night Abyss. If the typical bright, sunny anime worlds feel a bit too cheerful for you, this is your alternative. It brings a darker, gothic fantasy vibe that is honestly refreshing. The gameplay hook here is the dual weapon system. The game doesn't force you to choose between being a swordsman or a gunner. You are both. You can be hacking away with a scythe and instantly swap to a grenade launcher or a sniper rifle in the middle of a backflip. Also, the movement is insane. We are talking Warframe levels of parkour. You can run along walls, hookshot across gaps, and glide through the map. It's fast, it's chaotic, and it feels incredibly responsive. So if you want high-speed action, do not sleep on this one. At number 8, we have a franchise that needs no introduction. Persona 5 The Phantom X. Sega and Atlus have finally brought the full Persona experience to mobile. And when I say full experience, I mean it. Okay, this isn't just a watered-down spin-off. It gives that legendary day and night cycle. During the day, you are a student in Tokyo, going to class, working part-time jobs, playing baseball, and building relationships. Then at night, you dive into the metaverse to steal hearts. The turn-based combat is optimized perfectly for touchscreens, focusing on hitting enemy weaknesses to trigger those stylish one more attacks. So if you love story-driven games that signature jazz hip-hop aesthetic, this is arguably the most stylish game on this list. Coming in at number 7 is a game that has absolutely exploded in popularity recently, Silver Palace. We are expecting this sometime in 2026 and if you like mysteries, this is for you. This is an Unreal Engine 5 open-world RPG set in a Victorian-style metropolis called Silvernia. So what makes this cool is that you play as a detective. You are not just killing monsters, you are investigating crime scenes, gathering clues, and unraveling conspiracies involving the city's corrupt corporations. But don't worry, the combat is still top tier. You can switch characters in real time to chain combos, and there are those brutal cutie fishing moves that look amazing. Plus the traversal is unique, like you get to ride these mechanical horses that can drift and even glide. It's got a very distinct steampunk noir vibe that sets it apart from the usual fantasy games. Number 6 is the mobile adaptation of a PC giant, Blue Protocol Star Resonance. When this game was first announced, people wondered if mobile phones could handle the graphics. Well, the answer is yes. It looks like you are playing a literal anime movie. Unlike some games on this list that are mostly single player with some co-op attached, Blue Protocol feels like a true MMORPG. It's designed for you to team up. You will be diving into dungeons, fighting massive raid bosses, and exploring the planet of Regnus with friends. The class system is unique cause it's tied to your weapon. Like change your weapon, change your class. It gives you a lot of freedom to experiment. So if you are looking for that social MMO experience to play with your squad in 2026, this is the one. Breaking into the top 5, we have Azure Chromelia. Now, unfortunately, we have to wait until late 2026 for this one, but the hype is justified. This game is doing something different. Imagine combining Genshin Impact with Palworld. It's an open world action RPG, yes, but it has a massive creature collecting and farming element. You are not just a warrior here, you are raising these adorable creatures that help you in battle and help you run your farm. The world design is lush and magical, coming from the devs behind Azure Lane, so you know the character designs are top tier, if you know what I mean. Okay, it's a cozy fantasy RPG that promises hundreds of hours of gameplay. It's going to be a long wait, but it looks like a masterpiece in the making. At number 4, things get weird in the best way possible. Neverness to Evenness. We're speculating a potential launch in Q1 2026, which means this could drop any day now. The game is ditching the swords and shields for a supernatural urban setting. Think of it as an anime GTA mixed with Ghostbusters. You have this hyper-realistic city where you can buy houses, customize your ride, and drive supercars with actual physics. But then, you are also an esper, hunting down anomalies and fighting ghosts. The visual contrast between the realistic city and the anime characters is striking. It's running on Unreal Engine 5, so the lighting and reflections are next level. So if you are tired of fantasy forest and want a gritty, neon-soaked city to explore, keep your eyes peeled for this one. And folks, now it is time, smash that subscribe button and discover amazing games. Alright, now we enter the top 3 and the best part. You can play this in just a few weeks. Number 3 is the 7 Deadly Sins Origin, releasing on January 28, 2026. So, if you played Grand Cross, forget everything you know. This is a true open-world action RPG. You play as Terristan and the movement is incredible. Like you can fly, you can climb any surface, and this is rare, like you can dive underwater to explore entire aquatic zones. The world is highly interactive. You can burn breezes, freeze water to create paths, and use character skills to solve puzzles. Plus, because it's a multiverse story, you can collect and play as different versions of Meliodas, Escanor, and the whole crew. So Netmarble really went all out here. Mark the date, January 28th.
In recent years, the one in the sarcophagus has gradually faded from people's memory, along with those legends.
Just missing the top spot at number 2 is Arknight's Anfield. And guess what? This drops even sooner on January 22, 2026. This is probably the most unique game on the list mechanics-wise. This isn't just a hack and slash, it's a real-time 3D RPG with strategic elements. The game takes place on a dangerous alien planet called Telos 2. While you do have combat, a huge part of the game is base building. So you are constructing automated factory lines to gather resources and energy. Think Factorio but with anime waifus. The combat is tactical, like you can control a squad managing cooldowns and positioning in real time. The atmosphere is serious, sci-fi and mysterious. It looks incredibly premium. So if you want a game that challenges your brain as well as your reflexes, this is your winner.
What a huge mosquito.
And finally, the number 1 anime open world game for 2026 is Ananta. You guys probably know this by its codename Project Mugen. Slated for late 2026, this game is the ultimate dream for open world fans. It basically takes the best parts of every game we have mentioned and mashes them into one perfect package. The traversal is the best I have ever seen on mobile. You have a web swinging mechanic that feels just like Spider-Man, letting you jeep through a massive, dense city. The combat is fast, stylish, and allows you to use the environment like smashing enemies into cars, fighting on rooftops, and even seamless transitions into vehicle combat. The city feels alive, not just like a backdrop. It's ambitious, it's beautiful, and it sets a new standard for what mobile games can be. It is the king of 2026. So there you have it, guys. I am genuinely curious. Are you diving into the sci-fi strategy of Enfield first, or the fantasy adventure of 7 Deadly Sins, or are you saving your excitement for Ananta later this year? Let me know your pick in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel, and subscribe so you don't miss our full review when these games drop later this month. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.